Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you had a good time at the weekend, especially when it was all snowy on Saturday. How exciting was that? Well, on Sunday we were talking about Jesus and how he chose his special friends. You see, everywhere Jesus looked, everyone was very different. And that can be a bit of a problem sometimes when we're making friends, can't it? Sometimes we want to be friends only with people who are just like us because we know what to talk about, or it's just easier for us to feel comfortable. That's not what Jesus was doing. We're going to tell the story, and every time that Jesus chooses one of his friends, the friends say, "We don't need him." And I want you to say, "Oh, yes, we do," as loud as you can. So, Jesus went one day into the crowds and he looked around at all the faces and he was calling his special friends to come and help him. The first person he called was Peter. Now, Peter was very hot-tempered and very loud. "We don't need him," shouted the crowd. "Oh, yes, we do," shouted Jesus. Then Jesus called forward John. Now, John was rather young and baby-faced. Nobody thought he could do anything. "We don't need him," said the friends. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. Jesus called James. Now, James was rather short and he wasn't very strong. He wouldn't be much use. "We don't need him," said the friends. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. He called Simon next. Simon was so bad-tempered and he was always having temper tantrums and getting cross. "We don't need him," said everybody. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. Jesus called Judas. He loved money. He was very greedy. "We don't need him," everyone shouted. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. Jesus called Jude. Jude was nobody special. He was very ordinary. What use would he be? "We don't need him." "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. Jesus called Andrew. Andrew was very clever and good at everything and thought he was wonderful. "We don't need him," everybody shouted. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. He called Nathaniel. Nathaniel was so grumpy. He didn't want to do anything new. "We don't need him," everyone shouted. Jesus said, "Oh, yes, we do." Jesus called another James. He was very nice. He would go very far if he stayed at home with his family. "We don't need him," everyone shouted. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. Jesus called Philip, who was very excitable and always in such a rush. "We don't need him," everyone shouted. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. Jesus called Matthew. And Matthew loved money and he was pretty greedy. He always ate all the food. "We don't need him," everyone shouted. "Oh, yes, we do," said Jesus. And lastly, Jesus called Thomas. Thomas never believed anything. He was very doubtful and he never wanted to try anything new. "We don't need him," everyone shouted. Oh, yes, we do, said Jesus. You see, Jesus looked around at all these people just like he might look at all of us. And he could see that some were tall, some were short. Some had long hair, some had curly hair, some had ginger hair, some had brown hair, some had blue eyes, some had brown eyes or green eyes. Some of them were really good at running and climbing. Others of them were really good at counting and writing. Some of them were really brave, and others of them would run away at the first sight of trouble. But they became a wonderful team because all their differences meant that they each could do something that the others couldn't do. Why don't you close your eyes and just think about all the people that you know in your class. They will all be different to you. Some of them will be brave, and some of them will be clever. Some of them will be so kind and loving. Others of them will be really good at doing and saying the right things. Everybody's so different. I'm going to make a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, you could say Amen at the end with me. Father God, thank you that you made us each so different from the other, and that you love us, each one, just the same. Help us to look beyond our differences and become better friends with each other. For then, nothing can stop us doing good things in our world. Amen. I hope you have a good rest of the week, and I will see you again next week. God bless you all. Have a lovely time today. Bye.